That would be insane. Oh, look. Okay, I could set reminder for your live words.
Okay, so it shows live in this screen, but
Oh, I do see. That's so interesting. Oh,
it shows live in this screen, but
oh, I do see. That's so interesting. That's so weird. I had to mute it on this one.
I'm gonna have to. Okay, that's so much better.
Yeah.
It's like
having such a
it's super delayed.
it's
I told
so
you.
trippy. Yeah.
Oh, don't watch it because you'll be confused.
I know, that's what I'm having to stop. I wish they would put the chat somewhere else, though.
Well,
Can I
because
move it?
right. Well, because the chat is like below the screen, so we can just like I'm scrolling down and ignoring it, and my computer screen is wide enough for me to like have them both open at the same time.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be able to. I guess I need to open this other monitor because as soon as I start typing on it, it's going to go away. All the joys of having 87 computer screens.
How many do you actually have?
I have like one laptop that's tied in with like a spare monitor, and then I have a second computer as well. So I can have three if I need it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't need three, but I can have three.
Well, that's what I never used to have, the dual monitor system. And then when I was working my corporate job, they gave us like free monitors to go with the laptop. And so I just got so used to it. Now I'm spoiled. So I had to buy myself a monitor so that I could work on one and edit on the other. And
oh yeah, I love having to. I bought a new computer because the old one was starting to lag a lot.
Yeah.
But I haven't like moved anything over yet, so it's basically like external storage at this point. But you know, whatever works, I guess.
Yeah.
All two of us.
That's so true. Yay!
Like I said, we're a little early, but we'll see what happens. It's good to figure all this out before everyone gets here because we're like, wait, where are we talking about? What's happening? I have like the keys to the city. I can like mute people and turn their cameras off and control volume. It's pretty cool.
That is. I see some stuff in the panel, but when I tried to click on like the Q&A on the side, did not want to work.
See, I don't know. I'm sure there's like a way in here. Like I'm sure there's a way, but I don't know the way.
Yeah.
There is a way, but what's the way? Well.
Oh, group chat.
Oh, that is like we can group chat. I did do like in the research that I did. We can group chat. Like the two of us can talk on here together. I don't know why we would try to talk here while we're talking over there, but
yeah.
But we can.
Yeah, I guess if like someone's sound system isn't working, you could just type it to them or something. That could be the only thing I could see, but
true. Like, hey, you're being weird. Stop it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you need to calm down.
Calm down over there. And I think part of it too is like, they said like if you are trying to like put notes in before it starts, that you could do that as well. Like, because you know people actually use it for like work purposes, for like
if they're giving a presentation and not doing a write-in.
Right. For things that are, I mean, I guess it's work for us, but you know, for most people, this is our work.
This is the fun work.
So I don't know if you follow Susan Dennard on any social media.
You know what? You convinced me. I finally bought Truth Witch. I say finally, like a month and a half ago, because I raved about it so much. But I don't think I follow her. I should, because I've read her blogs and stuff. So
yes, and she has like, she talks about so much stuff, and like I think it was last month's newsletter, she actually posted her earnings for like the last 10 years or so.
Shut up.
Yeah, like what she's made off, and it's like not very much. And I feel like it's like she's like a New York Times bestseller and she's making like 40 grand a year. Like if that. And like the project before the Truth Witch project was really bad because she still never sold out her advance on that, and she said she probably never will.
Yeah.
So it was really like clarifying for like what you can expect, you know,
Yeah.
real work here. It's like
No.
you know, my goal as an author is to like make eventually one day, you know, publish a book, but like to make enough money that I don't have to go to my day job, like just the same amount of money, I would be happy with that because then still it's one job and not two.
Yeah.
Oh my, could you imagine like national bestsellers list and still only making like 40 grand a year?
I know. No, it's insane because it's one of those things where you look at the people who get published and those people are already like the 1% of people that write books or the people that get published. And then the 1% of that are the ones that manage to be like, you know, theoretically millionaires. I don't even think if that, like, I don't know. I think some of them, it's just crazy.
You're either like James Patterson and J.K. Rowling or nobody.
That's exactly, yeah.
Because they're like the only two people that make money. Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King.
Those are like the three people that make money. The rest of us are like, here's 10 cents.
Yeah, yeah. Which is insane.
And they were talking about like the amount of pirated stories like a month ago as well. And there were like, I think it was Alexandra Bracken that said that they did research and she's actually had more illegal downloads of her books than sales. Like more.
That's insane. And I don't understand that because I mean, at least in like the US, we have an amazing like library system. Yeah. Like even if your library doesn't have it, like my library is pretty small, you have all the online stuff that they're giving you access to now when the libraries come to get like, that just boggles my mind that people wouldn't go through like legal means to do that.
I know. Like I was like, could you imagine? Like I would just like curl up in a ball and die. Like
that would be devastating. Yeah. Well, the other thing I want to know is that like Alexandra Bracken, her book just got made into a movie, right? Like it came out kind of thing. I wonder if she doesn't make more from the movies than she ever does from selling the books.
And it may just depend on how well the movie does, which I haven't seen it, so I've never read the book either. I haven't a lot of authors on social media that I haven't read their work.
Yeah.
I own some of them, but I haven't read them yet because I'm so far behind.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. It would really depend on like how the movie does. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's like the only way to make the money is to sell rights for books and for books, for movies.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'd love to see some of like the smaller self-published authors and what their numbers are. Because I mean, you get such a big percentage of it when you do it self or indie, but you don't reach nearly as many people. So
yeah, and from like what you hear, like people talking about, even when they do traditional publishing, they have to do all of their own advertising and everything anyway.
Marketing,
yeah. Mm-hmm. So you have to be like excellent at marketing either way, which means we have to talk to people, and most writers are introverts, so that's not working out.
I know.
Don't make me talk to people.
I know. Well, I think that's so funny too, because like all of us that are making videos and stuff, people think that we're super outgoing or like really maybe intense or something in person, and I'm like, no.
No. I used to share this on Facebook every year because like my family knows that I'm like the most introverted person ever, and it was like people, you know, are out there having one night stands, and I can't even order pizza over the phone.
Yep.
Please don't make me order pizza on the phone. I can't do it.
Don't make me talk to you on the phone.
If I can't do it on the internet, then I'm not doing it. Like if I can't order pizza from the internet, I'm not going to have the pizza.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I'm out. Like I can't do it. Please don't. And I answer phones for a living. Like I talk on the phone all day, every day.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Well, and it's different for when it's for you specifically. Like it makes it so much worse for some reason.
I'm like, why do I have to talk on phones? Like,
Yeah.
why? I don't want to. Someone's here, but they won't say hi. I can see them. It says we have 3 viewers, and 2 of them are me and you.
I was gonna say, hello, person.
Hello, person who's not saying hi. We're just gonna talk about random book things until some people get here so we can write and have some fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last time there was like 8 or 9 people. So
yeah, I think that's really good.
I'm totally fine with that. But you know, whoever the one person is that won't say hi.
Say hi.
Say hi. It sometimes like if they join in the chat, it'll tell you, but
yeah,
it's not doing that today. So
maybe I'll type something. Nope, just me.
So weird. I guess it's like I'm staring over here because I have it pulled up on the other screen.
That's what. Yeah, me too. So both of us are just.
We're just not gonna look at the computer, guys. Don't mind us. We're not looking at the cameras at all. We're staring at the screen, waiting for someone to say hi. Oh, we have 4 people now. So there's 2. That was the cat jumping in a box full of paper because my cats are ridiculous.
No.
They are like they play in boxes all day, every day. I buy cat litter in boxes.
Yeah.
And like I emptied the box today and tried to take it to the trash and it didn't even make it halfway. Like he smacked it out of my hands as I was walking across the house and I'm like, okay, just have the box. I'm done.
That's so cute. Oh, so growing up, I wasn't like we didn't have cats. So it's taken meeting like friends when I was like later in life to make me into more of a cat person. One day I'll have a cat.
I live on a farm, so I've always had cats and dogs, and always had cats. We didn't have them for a while because my mom's the oldest dog we have, she's 14. She does not like cats.
Oh.
And she's too old to chase them now, but she would like when she was younger, she would chase kittens and she would try to play with them and she'd end up killing them. So there was like an 8 or 9 year span where we didn't have cats just for their own safety.
Yeah.
But now she's cool with the cats.
Oh, that's so sad.
They give her baths. Like the cats, like while she's asleep, because she sleeps so heavily because she's so old. Like the cats will go up and like give her baths while she's asleep, and you're just like,
well, okay. That's adorable.
They're weird. I like them. We'll keep them. Oh, somebody left too. Somebody came and then they were like, these bitches keep telling me to say hi to them and I'm not going to. And they left.
Like I do not want to hear it.
Fine. We didn't want to talk to you anyway. Oh, let me go post on the Twitter.
That's what I keep telling myself this and I never do it, but I need to use Twitter and Instagram more. Like I see all of y'all and you guys are so good at it. And I'm just over here like, I have it on my phone. I like stuff. I just don't ever say anything.
I very rare, like I use it not as often as a lot of people do. Yeah. But I mean, it's because there's so much on there, like so much.
I think that's what it is. I get information overload. Well, we got 4 people again.
Yay! I have like my biggest problem with like social media is I have no idea how to properly utilize hashtags. I don't like there are people that just like know like will just like throw 30 of them in there and somehow they get to all the people they want to get to. And I don't know. What are we doing? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just found out, I don't know how, but like on Instagram that you don't actually have to put it on your caption. You can put it as a comment and it still flags it as part of it. I had no idea.
I've seen people do that, but I didn't realize that it flagged it if you did that.
Yeah.
Well, now we both know a new thing. Oh, golly. I don't know. Just throw some stuff in there. I'm a weirdo. I use TweetDeck. I don't use actually Twitter because I can't keep up. And TweetDeck is like not even I don't even know that it's like still I don't know. It came out like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But if I don't like have everybody separated into groups, then I can't function.
You're like, it's a mess. Yeah.
There's too much. So like I have a group of like all of booktubers and author tubers that I follow. And then like other things that I am into as well. Otherwise, I would have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Hello, people, whoever you are, wherever you are. Come say hi to us. We're going to start writing soon as, some people get here and tell us they're ready to write. Otherwise, Kate and I'll just sit here and talk for the next hour.
Yeah. You could do it.
We'll talk and you'll just sit here and listen. Except not really. Because you'll probably run away like the last person did. Oh, God.
Well, that's what I've kind of been avoiding Twitter also because I just entered Pitch Wars. And so I've had to, like, for my own sanity, like, calm down on reading all the tweets about it. So
I really need to. I talked about it in like a recent video. Like my focus and motivation is like so low, just like in life in general. Like I have no motivation for anything ever.
Yeah.
And I really need to like do the next draft of that freaking Warriors of Comadria book and do something with it because it's been like 10 years. Like either finish it or move on. Like so let's do something.
Yeah, like make a decision kind of thing.
I think I want to do like one more pass and then do beta readers, but I'm not really 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because, it's been 10 years. It is like, it's almost been like completely rewritten 3 times.
Yeah.
So even when I read it, I find things that I didn't know were there before.
Yeah. That's kind of a nice surprise though, if you like it. You're like, oh, I wrote this.
Like, oh, I forgot that part was there. That's pretty cool. All right, let's move on.
Is the underlying story still basically the same though? Like, are you changing subplots or is it like main plot?
The main plot's still the same. Subplots have changed. Characters have been completely written out. I had to like write out my favorite character because they didn't have a purpose.
I hate that so much. That is honestly, I've lost motivation to work on a story when I realized that. Because I was like, not only did I like you so much as a character, but also it's so much work if they're like anything more than like a basic minor character. You're like, you're in so many scenes. How am I going to do this? So, I could feel that.
Well, it was definitely that. It was like it was kind of like an ex-boyfriend of the main character. And he had like a purpose, but his purpose was things that other people could do better.
Yeah.
So like he just kind of completely vanished from the face of the earth. And then there were like 3 or 4 other characters that like picked up everything that he had done better. And it makes more sense, but it's like, but I miss this character.
Yeah.
I want them to be my friend. Where are they at?
Yeah. I went to a book conference and I think it was Marie Lu. Did she write Renegades? Is that her most recent one? I think someone else. No, that's Marissa Meyer, isn't it?
That's Marissa Meyer, yeah.
Which one?
Marie Lu is Warcross, I think.
Okay, so she was talking about Warcross, and I think it was something about how in the first part of the novel, she had to write him out completely because apparently he ended up basically just being transportation for the main character instead of actually serving a purpose. So she turned that character into a skateboard or something. And so she literally just like rewrote him out and then put a skateboard in his place. And I thought that was brilliant. But it made me feel a little bit better that like a super legit writer had the same problem.
I'm going to turn you into a skateboard without witchcraft. It's actually kind of cool, but yeah, it's devastating, and you don't really want to work on it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think when I originally wrote it, like when I was 20, I started it. and I originally wrote it without contractions, 0 contractions, because it was supposed to be like, um, it's set like in modern times, but in an alternate universe. So it's
Yeah, so for
supposed
like
to
a
be like a
feel.
different speech than us.
Mhm.
Without contractions, it's the dumbest thing you can ever do. Please don't ever do it. Oh my gosh.
The only way I've done that, I actually had it in this pirate story I worked on, but it's only one character that doesn't use them. So it works a little bit better because it's just dialogue here and there, but
Oh,
it's
that would be, yeah, that I could live with, but like the whole thing, and like still to this day, I'll find parts where it reads so weird because there's no contractions in like a paragraph, and I'm like, somehow this one paragraph has made it 5 drafts in, and it sounds horrible. Why are you here? I don't know. It's a hot mess, and it needs to just be done.
Yeah.
I do feel like is another thing that Susan Denner has talked about. She has this book that she's been working on for like 10 plus years, called Screechers.
Mhm.
And she's finally like getting to it and getting it finished. And I kind of feel like that's how this is. It's like, it's such a vast cast of characters and
Yeah.
so much world building and everything that it's just like, I can't emotionally handle all of it. And I don't think
Yeah.
I'm a good enough writer to handle it all yet, if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. I get that, especially because I've enjoyed concepts for stories before and like attempted to write them so many times and realized that my skills aren't there yet and I just can't do it justice. And it's just infuriating to try and write something that you already know you can't do. And I'm always one for being like, just write it out and it'll be fine. But like, no, sometimes you're just not there and it's not going to work. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's why like the next one that I started working on was like a I don't want to say contemporary because there's magic in it, but it's like a modern day normal people, no magic. Well, there's magic, but I don't
like
know.
urban fantasy or like magical contemporary.
It's really weird. It's like the only magical element is like an old curse. There's kind of like a demon kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's no like vampires or werewolves or any like magical creatures like that, but there's like a demon and it's more of like death than anything else. But
yeah. You know what? When I was looking on all of the individual mentors for Pitch Wars, some of them said, I think it was like magical realism or it was like contemporary with a hint of something else. And I didn't realize that was like a subgenre basically, but there were several people requesting it. I was just like, the more you know, and tons of people are into vampires again too. It's come back around already.
Oh yeah, I don't think vampires have ever really went out. I think it's just like vampires for YA and vampires for like 87 sex scenes.
Yes.
Like it jumps back and forth between those two. Because if you've ever read any Anita Blake, it hurts my brain, but
I have not, but I feel like I've heard that name recently. So
well, she writes like the first there's like 26 or 27 books in that series right now, which I quit reading around book 9.
Yeah, dang.
Because it at some point just became like so much sex oriented that it just wasn't for me at all.
Yeah.
Like bestiality type sex. And I'm like, I think I'm just gonna walk away now. I'm good.
Now I gotta Google this. I'm so curious.
I like own the majority of them because I bought them in like a box set on eBay.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, I can't do it. Like it started out really good. Kind of like detective type story, like she's a PI. And so it's like there's like interest and things going on, and then there's vampires and werewolves, and then it just gets like
it just devolves
into giant orgies with creatures.
That is fascinating. Oh, I see it. Okay. Well,
she sells like all kinds of books, so I mean obviously somebody likes it.
Yeah.
Not me, but somebody somewhere. She has a Fae series as well, and I really liked that series. I have read all of that, and it wasn't as sex oriented until like the most recent book that came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this turned into the other series all of a sudden? Like this was my like one thing that I had, and you ruined it for me.
Oh, Duke, what are you doing? Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can take him out. I'll be right back. Come on, puppy.
Right here. Hello to viewers, wherever you are. Please say hello. We're lonely.
Can you hear buzzing?
Only when you had the door open.
Okay, good. I was like, the neighbor is doing some like yard work.
Oh. Only when the door was open. Which isn't bad. I told the world to come be our friend. Somebody left. So you left and then someone left.
Come back.
Come back, human. Still, no one says hi to us.
I'm impressed. We got one person that's just hanging on though.
I don't know why nobody likes us today. Oh,
I do wonder. I bet a lot of people were around for the Camp NaNoWriMo too.
Yeah, and also I know that a couple people, like I was on another author's chat, and she ended hers about a half hour before I started mine. And she was like, I'm going to do more writing, but I don't want, like, I have other things I need to do. I'm not going to be sitting in front of the camera. And I was like, well, I'm going to be doing mine in like a half hour. And so some people jumped from there over. I think it was like 3 people, including her. But, actually, according to our analytics that I accidentally clicked on a second ago, our peak concurrent viewers is 5. So at some point we've had 5 people.
Oh, man.
We don't know where you people are because you won't say hi to us, but you're here somewhere. Oh, I just did that thing where I accidentally hit the wrong button and then okay. I was like almost into hearing myself 5 minutes delayed.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So bad. Delay is so bad. So I say at 7:25, regardless of if it's just me and you or me, you, and the whole free world, we go ahead and write some.
That sounds great.
Because otherwise, it's going to be us sitting here talking like for 6 hours. Apparently, one person wants to listen to that.
They're down, yeah.
But everyone else, not so much. I have like a gnat flying around my face. Stop it.
I was going to say they're silent until the worst time.
Oh, did I send that? I did send that. Like somebody retweeted that we're here and we're live, and some people liked it, but nobody wants to come be our friend. Losers. Do you listen to music while you write?
Sometimes.
You're not a I have to or I will die person?
No, I'm not. I like it. It depends. I tried for the first time during Camp NaNoWriMo to have like a playlist for a particular story, but I'd never done that before. And otherwise, a lot of the time I honestly put on like HGTV kind of thing in the background so that I can like have something to kind of listen to and like, pause. If I look up for a second, I can see like Beach House Property, but other than that, no.
I started during this last camp listening to the ambient mixer, whatever thing where you can just like pick rooms. And I found one that's like the Hufflepuff common room at Hogwarts. Yeah. And that is like what I listen to now because I am a horrible person. And
you showed, I think you told me about that, or you said it and I went and looked it up later, and then I was getting recommended in my YouTube feed all the time, and I've actually gone into some of them, and I was just like, this is the best.
The one that I have, I do like modify it because it has like a cat purring, which is really annoying, so I mute the cat and I mute the grandfather clock, and so it's mostly just like you hear like scribble, like writing on a page and like pages flipping and people walking
Yeah.
around. And for some reason, it just is like motivating.
That would be well, I love writing in coffee shops because I like the ambient noise of other people working. Like I love in-person write-ins when I go to them for that reason, where I'm like, we're all here, we're all doing work, and I don't have to talk to people right now. So it's great.
I have actually I've never been to an in-person write-in, and I have never like just went to the coffee shop and wrote before either.
Really?
And it's that introvertedness that I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh no. See, I like being in public as long as the understanding is I don't have to talk to anyone. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
but otherwise, if I have to start talking to people or if like someone sits down next to me, it's completely ruined for me. But
Do you not see the headphones and the head pointed down this way? Please don't look at me.
I think that all the time. I'm just like, it's the universal sign for do not talk to me. But
Losers.
mm-hmm.
How long do you want to write for?
I switch it up each time I do a sprint. I'm good for 5, 10, 15, 20. So I know that's kind of an open window, but if any of those are your preference.
Anywhere between 5 and 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
We can start off with like a 10 and see.
That sounds perfect.
Because it's been, 300 years since I've wrote anything, so I probably need to start off small.
Yeah, that's what I like to ramp up into it. My poems, now I got to figure out, because we were talking, I wasn't figuring out what I was supposed to be writing. So where am I at?
Loser. I need to I just 120% didn't get a timer either, so. Give me a timer, Google. Thank God for Google.
Yes.
We'd never have anything.
You know what? I honestly believe that's true. And if they decide to take over at some point, I can't say that it would be that bad. I mean, I'm feeding into it right now, so. Okay, I'm gonna let my dog back in and we'll see if he'll. Good job, buddy.
Okay. I'm ready to start whenever you are, ma'am.
I am ready.
Okay, I'm gonna start the timer right now. Our timer just went off.
Woo!
I had the common room on, so I was like, is that Kate typing or is that the background?
Or was it?
What is making the noise? I don't know. And then about halfway through, I was like, I don't even remember these characters' names right now, so.
Okay, I literally just had that. I kept having to go back and forth and look up the last chapter because I was like, what did I name these people?
Some of mine still don't even have names, so.
Yep, I'm with you there. I got name and then blank and last name, and I'm very creative.
The one I'm working on now has royalty in it, so it'll be like King blank. Like, so I know that I'm talking about the king, but I don't know what his name is yet.
Yep.
Or like his sons, he has 3 sons, so it'll be like YP for youngest prince or MP for middle prince.
Yes.
Whatever the heck their names. They have names, but I can't remember what they are, so I just write it out. It's fine.
Yes.
It'll get typed into the computer properly later.
Yeah, that find replace tool is great.
Well, I'm handwriting, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's even, that works even better.
Well, and like when I handwrite, I don't write all of my 4 main characters all have different first initials, so I don't write out the whole name. I just write the first initial to save myself time.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me. I think of just when I handwrite anything, I do the as short as possible.
I counted last night, and I have like 45 pages like handwritten so far in this, like it's like the first draft, the 0 draft, if you will. So
yes,
I think I'm like 3/4 of the way through, maybe. I don't really know.
Yeah, that's a lot of pages.
That's a lot of pages.
Yeah,
I'm working on it, trying. I've never written a draft this quick before either. Like I literally started this during camp.
Yeah.
So.
Yay!
I'm learning to not be a procrastinator, except I haven't worked on it since camp, but hey, whatever.
I'm telling you, I have not figured out what it is, because as gung-ho as I am for the camps and for Nano, there's legit a hangover associated with both. For that particular project or something that I just, like, writing in general, I think I take like a week break after camp or Nano, and then for that story, it could be a lot longer.
Right. 6 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's just me that takes 6-year breaks from stories. It's totally fine. That's what happens when you're like, you like love it and then you do something to it and you hate it, but it like needs to happen, and then you just walk away for like 6 years, and then you're like, I need to finish the story.
Yeah.
My aunt actually just asked me today, she's like, have you ever published anything? And I'm like, no. She's like, why not? I'm like, because I haven't finished anything.
Yeah, that's what.
Finish it first.
Yeah. Well, I also like, even where I think that I've finished something, I'll read it. I mean, I think this pirate story's on its 4th draft if I count the 0 draft, if that makes sense. And so it's, I mean, at some point, I don't know, I've heard some people take like 9 drafts to finish a story, and I don't know how many revisions start counting in for the drafts, but it's like, it's a lot. It's not just typing the end.
Right. Well, and that's why I feel like I need to do beta readers for Warriors of Comadria, because I've changed it so many times that like, I don't like, I need someone else's opinion at this point. Like I've put all of my opinions into it, and now I need someone else's opinion.
Yes. Well, that's also when you've done the thing where if you come back to it and then leave it, it's kind of like, I don't know, for me, it'll start blurring together the drafts. So it's like, I remember something like one scene, but like this newest draft or newest version doesn't have it because I took that plot point out, but I'll have forgotten that. And so it's like, how do you keep track of it as the writer? Beta readers.
You don't keep track?
Yeah, that's the true answer.
I'm getting like 800 messages on here for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, I definitely like, I'll be reading through it, because I do that sometimes. I'm like, I really just want to read it, and I'll read through it, and I'm like, that
Yeah.
there's art that was there that's not there anymore, and now I don't know how it goes. So
Hmm.
even just rereading this zero draft last night that like I said, I've only worked on it during camp. I found
Hmm.
parts where like I put them in like 3 times. Like
Yep.
the same conversation, the same factoid, like
Yes.
3 times.
Yeah, yeah. That's okay. That's the other problem with the zero drafting because you haven't planned as much. It's like your mind is like, this thing is important, so you like try to put it in there, and then you read back later and you're like, oh no, I've done this already.
Well, and we talked about like in a zero draft, I will write anything, like
Yeah.
any idea, any like if it's something that I think of like will work like in a later book, I just write it
Yes.
down. I just put it in
Throw it
there.
all in there. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Any like because I don't try to do like a lot of backstory or world building. It's basically just like get the plot out.
Yes.
But like I'll make side notes of like maybe it should look like this, or this person should do some type of this, or this should be their background or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like hearing that other people do it this way. And I think there's one author that I read who does it that way, just because most of my writer friends, like in-person writer friends, are the kinds that have like, I think they're like D&D level notes and stuff on their characters and their world and stuff, and then they start writing. And so they'll ask me questions about my world, and I'm like, I don't know yet. I'll find out later. And they're like, what? And so
That's how I did Words of Comedia. I did like 4 years of planning before I ever started writing the first page. And that's why it's been 10 years because
yeah.
like I literally spent 4 years doing world building and character building and research. And so it's like, it's so massive. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do with it now. Like, so
Yep.
I'm never doing that again. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And I over planned the other one we were talking about earlier, like the magical realism. I don't even know. We'd have to
Whatever.
look up the term later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think I overplanned that. Like I drafted it and I planned it out, and I think I overplanned it because now it's not fun anymore.
Yes. That's what I realized I did with this. I feel both over and under planned for my Scooby Doo meets Princess Bride one. Like I did so much, but then it's like you mess up one thing and then the rest of your over planning is like worthless almost. And so then how do I continue when I thought I was going to be here, but I'm not there? I've moved over this way and it's just a mess.
Yeah,
So.
I just like it's so over planned. Like because I did like it was the first time I've used Scrivener, and
Mm-hmm.
I found someone's like oh, what is it called? Like a a template. Ooh, that
Yeah.
word did not want to come out. But I found like another author's template, and so it has like all these backstory answers and like things like that. So I went through those for the main characters.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And so like you learn about the main characters more, but then you're just like, this is boring. I don't want to write it anymore because I know everything.
Yeah. That's what I like, the discovery process. And that's what so I'm co-writing a story with my friend and she's opposite me. She doesn't do the zero drafting or anything like that. And so she wanted to fill out these character templates for them, which we did. But I was like, when I think about it now, again, I think it's just stylistically, it didn't really do much for me. Like now I know their like favorite childhood memory, but I'm like, that has not come up at all. And
Right.
I don't know that I know them any better for having done it than if I just learning about them as I wrote. But of course, if she does, then it's worth it. But
It doesn't do anything for me though. I am the same way. Like I like to learn organically. I like to like learn about the character as it goes through the process.
Yes.
But that's not how everybody works. And maybe that's why they get more done than I do. I don't know. But
that's what I always wonder when I am struggling with something repeatedly. And I'm like, I bet if I just did it their way, maybe this would be simpler. But I kind of think if I did it their way, I just never would do it. So
I did a tag video recently, and I can't remember which one because Lord knows I've filmed like 9,000 tag videos in the past 2 months. But it did ask like how you felt about your success or your progress in comparison to other writers. And I'm like, I don't do anything, so I don't feel bad that they're doing better than I am because I don't like I'm not working on it. So how can I be upset that they're doing better than me?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a good point generally. It's kind of like when you know that I don't know, I think that about other things a lot where I'm like, I can't really be like upset because I know I'm not doing anything. So it's like, I mean, I am upset because I'm not doing anything, but you can't be mad at progress if you're not working toward it, I guess.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Becca Smith posted this morning the video about like author trivia. Have you seen that yet?
I think I saw her post something about the tag. Was it a tag video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't watched it yet. But.
She talks about it's like 10 facts about her life, and I'm like, her life is so interesting. Like all the things that she's done. I'm like, why am I just like? I went to the grocery store once.
Yeah. That's why when I met Becca in person, we talked for forever, and I was just like, I have so many questions for you. Like, she's just so cool,
right?
And she's insane and wonderful.
Like you're like, I'm so jealous, and yet like you're actually going outside of your house and doing things. So like, I get it.
Yeah, you're like, I see where the problem is.
I have to put real pants on and leave my house. Crap.
Yeah, that's why this weekend, it's the trashiest show. I don't know that you would watch it, but it's called Love Island. It's like the British version of The Bachelor or Bachelor in Paradise. But I've just been binge watching that. I'm like, this is a good use of my time, I guess. Like, it's doing nothing for me, but I'm like so engrossed that who needs to work?
The last thing that I binge watched was Insatiable on Netflix. And like I literally stayed up until 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I started watching it and I was like, I'll check it out. And I like stayed up and watched the whole thing, all 10 episodes.
Really? That's which one's Insatiable? Is that the one people were complaining about? That's
yes. Yes. Okay. With Debbie Ryan, and she wears a fat suit.
Yes.
And people are like good, super peeved. I loved it. Like it had moments in it like because she gets skinny, and the way that they made the trailer, it made it seem like she got skinny and her life was perfect, which is not the case. Like her life still sucks after she loses all the weight. But there are moments where like she's like looking in the mirror and talking about how like she feels like she would be perfect if she just lost another 10 pounds and how horrible she feels in her own body. And like I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out. Like it was super emotional. Like I cried. I mean, it gets really weird because it's kind of like murdery because it's intended to be a satire.
Say, is it like revengey?
Yeah. It's intended to be a satire. So it has like murdery aspects in it, and it does get kind of weird and kind of dark. But I mean, it has like those moments where I literally was just like, this is my life. Like, because like, I know that I'm like 100 pounds overweight right now, but I did lose a lot of weight. And even when I was skinny, like I never felt like I was skinny enough. So it was like so relatable to me. And I'm just like bawling my eyes out. And other girls that I know that are big are like, I'm not going to watch that. She was wearing a fat suit and I can't watch it. I'm like, that you're lost because it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'll check it out now because I'd seen the criticism, and it's like, it's kind of one of those things where if you have so many things to watch, I was like, well, I guess I won't bother with something, but I thought it looked, I'm kind of into the satire murdery aspect of anything. So I'm curious. And I think that is super relatable. I think we all feel, especially body wise, where it's like, well, I could always be better or do better or look better or whatever. Like we're just not satisfied.
Well, and there's an episode with a bunch of drag queens, and and there's actually like some transgender, transsexual characters in it as well. And like some of the main characters are LGBT plus characters, and so it's like it is a broad spectrum of like learning who you are and how to deal with it.
Yeah,
but people just like that 2-minute trailer and her wearing a fat suit just peeved everyone off, and no one can handle it. So
Yeah.
I literally know someone that was like, I don't care how good you tell me it is. She was in a fat suit and I won't wear it. And I'm like, okay. Like,
Yeah. I think that one's kind of rough because I don't know how else you would want to portray that. And I feel like at some like, are we just not going to show stories that have someone losing the character losing weight or like gaining weight or whatever? Like I don't know.
and
I guess
you
like
can't make an actor gain 80 pounds
yeah.
to film that and then lose it so
Yeah.
they know what it's like. Because they're like, I just can't respect a skinny person who puts on a fat suit and tries to pretend like they're fat. And I'm like, if I was a skinny person telling you that this was amazing, that you should watch it, then I would understand. But like, I'm not a skinny person, so like, just fucking watch it.
You're
It's
like,
good.
yeah. Well, I'll check it out now. I've seen it because it is like the banner. There's like,
Mhm.
I don't know, my Netflix got a re-up, so every time I pass it, I see it.
Well, and that's like I watched it at Brittany's house because I wasn't home. I was actually dog sitting for her and her husband. They were on vacation. And so like it tells me to watch it at my house all the time on mine. I'm like, I already watched it all though, so I'm probably just gonna watch it again.
Yeah, just thumbs up it.
Just watch it again. So it's like, oh, okay, you've watched it. I'm just put it on one night when I go to bed and just leave it on. Plus the boys are really cute.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with cute boys. So
I honestly, I feel like people could really get me into stuff more often if they just threw a couple cute boys in there. I'd be happy.
there's some cute boys in that, girl. Let me tell you, there's some cute boys. They're way too young for me though, because I'm old.
Oh, I'm just now getting to that part where some of the actors, I'll have to look them up, and I feel like a terrible person. I'm just like, oh no.
Like, this character is playing like a 16-year-old, but are they actually 16 or are they like in their mid-20s? Because
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I feel like it was like the second I hit 31, I was like, okay, like guys under the age of 25 are no longer attractive to me. Why?
Yeah, yeah.
Like my brain's like, just walk away. Just
Yeah,
walk
yeah,
away.
yeah.
Stay away from those.
Yeah, that's it. I just watched like everyone else, the To All the Boys I've Loved Before movie. So cute. And the main actor, so cute. Or the main love interest, I should say. I think he's like 21 or something.
I think he's like 20. Yeah. I'm totally looking it up right now. I want you to know that.
Yeah. Oh, 22. And I still like I'm 26, so in my head, I'm like it's 4 years, but also and I have two younger brothers, so once you get to a certain point, if you're like close to my youngest brother's age, I'm like, oh no, you're literally my brother's age. That's not gonna work.
My brother is oh my gosh, I can't do math. 7 years older than me, and my sister is 10 years older than me.
Really?
So like I don't get that. And like my mom and I are both single, and we legitimately like when I was 20 or so just made a pact that she would never date anybody younger than my brother, and I would never date anybody older than my brother, and we'd never end up on Jerry Springer. No accidentally dating the same guy because we won't be on Jerry Springer.
Okay, I'm gonna let him out again. Come on, buddy. What are you? Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it's like guys that are in their mid to late 20s are playing 16 and 17-year-olds. So like when you see a 16 or 17-year-old like in real life and you're like, how old are they?
You get so thrown off. Yeah. Well, that's like who's the other one that I think it's that Shawn Mendes, the singer.
Yeah.
He's like 19, and I was a fan of his when he was 16, and I was like, oh, he's cute, and I was like, oh my god.
Now I feel like a pedophile, and I must.
Yes, I was like, oh, that's the worst feeling ever.
It's like one of the first things I do is like, okay, I need to like find out how old this person is before I'm like, he's attractive. Let's just go to the internet really quick.
Yes.
Find out how old they are. That's
Yeah.
not to say that the younger guys are the only ones that are attractive, because the older guys are attractive too. It's just you gotta watch out with the younger ones.
You gotta watch out with the younger ones. Well, but I've always joked that I've always said that I've been into older guys. I have no explanation for this, but it's almost always older guys. And so I don't usually have that problem. And then recently, like,
Recently, I decided to change my entire life.
yeah, and I was like, well, this is not the time to be doing that.
I am the opposite. I have always dated younger guys, like 6 or 7 years younger. I don't
Really?
really know why, because it's just how I roll. Probably because I was trying to avoid men with children.
You know what? Yep, that would be a tough one.
Now I know that, like, in my age bracket, they're just, especially because I'm from a small town and it's like really rednecky and like
Yeah.
I think I'm like one of 5 people in the whole county that made it past the age of 30 without having children.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So at this point, like, you just have to accept it as part of your life. So it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be so. I mean, I'm from Texas, so I feel like if you wanted to take a state as a whole, that's usually pretty true. But I'm in like a suburb-ish of a big city, so that's not as much of a problem. But
I
just
live like in the country, like, but it's like 20 minutes outside of the main town, but it's a pretty big town, but it still
yeah.
is scary. Like, half the people you went to high school with had kids before you were out of high school, and
Mhm. Yep.
very rednecky and
Yeah.
oh, life. Hello, other 2 people who are here who still haven't said hi to us. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look, look, Laura's here. Hi, Laura. That's what happens when you click away from the thing because you're looking up how old guys
I
are.
know. Hey, if you want to talk about guys with us too, or girls, we're here for you.
Right, because we're terrible people and we were not writing. We were talking about boys because we're here by ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, we did a
Oh,
full 10-minute sprint. I actually got like, let me see. I got 439 words from that. So
I got a whole page, so
it's a productive sprint.
we have more friends. We should do another sprint.
Yes, I agree.
Poor Laura gets no more male advice. How long would you like to go this time? Gonna do 20 this time, or 15, or
Let's do 15, ramp up to the 20.
I'm not ready for the 20 yet.
I'm not ready.
Um,
That's what I'll spend the first full minute rereading what I just wrote. So
Stop it, computer. I'm like, it's stuck on a 10-minute timer. It won't give me 15. Give me 15, timer. Story of my life. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
I am ready.
All right, ready, set, go. The timer's going off.
Woo! That's our new scene. Just in time. Let me actually write down what I was going to write next, otherwise I'll forget it. What's happening in this scene?
What was I gonna do?
Okay.
I was like in the middle of a sentence.
Were you?
Yeah. So I'm like trying to remember how to speak English enough to write it down. There we go. Like a sassy sentence, like a you know what I'm saying, like some sarcasm.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it all out like while it's in your head, then it'll never make sense in the future.
Gone.
Yeah. Why can't this make sense? How did everyone else do? And by everyone else, I mean Laura and whoever those other two people are that haven't said hi yet. They don't want to be our friend.
Yeah. How did you do? Where did I stop at? I don't even know how many words I done.
Like a page and a half that time. So
that's
not
like
too
on par.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I think I got a lot more dialogue this time, so I think I got.
I am handwriting as well, Laura. So I feel you. I don't know. I know that at some point I counted like about how many words I write per page, and I wrote it down somewhere, but I don't remember what it was or where it is. So
yeah.
But I just count them when I'm done and add them to my word count and move on with life. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. Out in the middle of mine is like, I don't know where we're gonna put it, what we're gonna put here, but we need to like do this and do this and show this and show this. And of course, you know, when I count my words, I count that. It's because I wrote it.
Yeah.
$171 words. That's awesome.
Woo!
I love words. And we were talking earlier too about how we haven't worked on these projects. Well, you started a new project, but I haven't worked on this project since the end of camp. So I totally feel you. I read it last night, the whole thing, trying to get myself caught up to where I was at. So I totally get that. What are you working on now, Kate?
I am working on, this is something that I had the idea for, and I thought about doing for April's Camp NaNoWriMo. It's a young adult where no one can have kids anymore, so it's following the youngest kid in the world. So that's kind of the setup. So it's like a kind of sci-fi, and then it's set in the future, but it's also not, it's less sci-fi and more like a mystery, trying to find out what's wrong.
Well, and I feel like most like dystopian type novels that everyone writes, they write them as like YA, where it's like mass amounts of the adults die off and just the teenagers are like trying to figure everything out. Yeah. And I was like, what if it was the opposite? Like, what if I'm old now, so like I want to know what happens like if all the children die off. And I thought that would be interesting. Or as like a because when you look at statistics as far as like the overpopulation of the earth and what the population density is as far as like what age the majority of the people are, it's under the age of 18. So what if like just like the government decided that like everyone under the age of 18 just had to be killed and like to give the population a break? That would be a weird story. Sometimes I think of these things. That would be a weird story, but I think I like it. I should write that down somewhere.
But there's something there. Mine stemmed off of because I was like, I felt like corporations had too much power. Like the Nestle Corp is like super evil. And I was like, well, what if a super evil company accidentally on purpose did something that they couldn't reverse? And so they've messed up everything for everyone. And then also, you know, at some point, you're going to have a misbalance of like the older people who can't do the work anymore and these young kids, and no one's going to support the kid anyway. So it's like, how can I play with this?
Well, and I think it's interesting that you talk about the corporations because that's the thing too, like, especially dystopian novel-wise, because it's funny that you consider them sci-fi or dystopian because it feels like the way that the world, like the direction we're going in the real world.
Yes.
But a lot of people feel like it's going to become like corporations are going to be in control of everything. So
yeah.
It's like in 1984, but 1984 is already passed. But it might happen still. There's still time.
That's what I have. I've titled this one 2089. So tentatively, I was like, just in my head, that's the year it's happening. So it's the same kind of inspiration there.
I hope that I'm dead by then.
I know, right?
I would be 102, so I'm probably not gonna make it.
I was gonna say, I think I had to hold off. I'll wait till 2092, then I'll be 100, and then everything will be good. I can say I made it to the Century Club.
And then, I have said, like, if the world was fair, we would all die, like, in the middle of the night on our 100th birthday.
Yeah.
Like, you would know, but you could die in your sleep. Like, you would be asleep and it would just like be over, but you were 100 and you got to have your 100th birthday and it was awesome, and then you die.
Yeah, have a great party. Yeah, no pain.
But then the world would be super overpopulated, so. Natural disasters are population control. It's the planet's way of saying, help me.
There you go.
It's like 87 Post-it notes on my desk, and I'm like just sitting here like going through them. Like,
I read a book because I wanted to do a review on it. I'm still going to, but I have Post-it noted it so much that it's really just a book and then like Post-it notes completely sticking outside of it, just everywhere.
That's good though. That means you took plenty of notes and you liked it.
Yeah, I had tons of ideas.
Talk about it. Bye, Laura. Have a nice dinner. Laura's gonna go eat dinner. She's cool.
See that?
It's okay. We don't need friends. We have each other.
That does make it a little bit better, especially like I kind of sort of timed it, the lag, and it is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah. It's like I said, the last time I was trying to figure out how long it is. And like I said, you're just like, when you're here by yourself, you ask like, does anybody have any questions? Or you ask a question and then you're just like, for 2 minutes waiting for someone to pop up in the chat. You're just like, what am I going to talk about for the next 2 minutes? Because you don't want to get too far away from it.
Yeah.
Then like the subject has changed.
The topic changed, yes.
Ugh, it's a mess. I don't know. It has gotten dark outside here, so my lighting is probably going to go really weird.
Well, it's not quite as bright as it used to be in here either, so same. What do you do for lighting in your videos?
Try to film during the day.
Okay.
I don't have lighting. Were you the one that was talking about looking at ring lights and then like ran away?
I was debating, yeah, and then I saw the price for ones that looked like legit enough to get, and I was like, oh, never mind.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I have the lights that I have on the bookshelves, and then I have the bookshelves that I have 2 walls. They run the top of the 2 walls, and they have like patio lighting on those, so that helps. It actually does make it pretty bright in here.
Okay.
And I also recently have been filming, my friend Jenna calls them the potato cam. Oh, I have mine right here. It looks like a potato.
Ah,
Yes, this is what I film with because I'm not cool. I don't have a DSLR like the whole free world. So, um,
that's fancy looking though.
it actually has a light on the front of it.
Oh, that's smart.
So I will turn the light on that sometimes,
Yeah.
depending on how dark it is. And try not to wear my glasses because otherwise all you see is like,
Oh, that's glare. Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. Like, I haven't figured out how people wear their glasses and don't have the glare. Like,
I don't either. Are there glare resistant lenses? Like, is that a thing?
I don't know, maybe if they are, I'm very sad that my ophthalmologist is not offering them to me.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to call my cousin and yell at her because she's the one that picks out my glasses.
Oh, really?
She works at my ophthalmologist office, so she picks out my glasses for me.
My dog's having a freak out. What are you doing, bud? Can you hear him?
A little bit.
He's just panting.
If I stick the earbuds down in my ears, I could hear it a little bit.
Yeah, you try really hard.
If I focus, which I'm not good at, so no, not really. Not good at focus. Hi, broken person. You won't hear this for another 2 minutes because it has a 2-minute lag, but hello. We're just here talking about random strange things in between writing some words. Very few. Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, lighting and yeah. I looked at getting box lighting before, and like it's still on my wish list on Amazon, but they're so expensive.
Those, I think I might have looked at those, but they take up like quite a bit of room, don't they?
They do. Take up a lot. I mean, I have a lot of room in here. Like, I mean, as you can see behind me, like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, because I do have an office, so there is a lot of room in here, but it's like I would have to take them down because of the dogs. Like, they're just gonna be all over the place. Like, you can't leave stuff up. So, like, I would have to take them down. I would have to have somewhere to store them. I would have to get them out and put them up every time. And so I've looked at ring lights as well. Same feeling as you. Like, you know, do I want to spend $100 to $200 on a light? No.
Yeah.
Also, cameras, like they're so expensive. Like a lot of people, they'll be like, "Oh, like I'm on a budget, so I bought this $700 camera," and I'm like, "Okay."
I know. Well, that's what I filmed on my phone for a year because I figured once I hit that 1 year mark, I was like, you know what, this is like an actual hobby that I'll be doing. And then I was going on my road trip. So I was like, I want to have a good enough camera, especially because my phone's been dying since then slowly. So, but even then, it was like I had to actively save up for it and be like, so I can't justify the lighting stuff yet. Maybe, 3 years. I mean, like,
well, and my phone is like 4 years old, so I never filmed on my phone because it has horrible film quality.
Yeah.
But when I started, I looked up like budget cameras, look up videos for budget cameras, and ended up buying what I'm actually filming on now, and it was like $50, and it's just like a USB webcam.
Yeah.
And I used that for a year, and then on I think it was like Prime Day or Black Friday or whatever last year, and I got this giant thing with the mic and everything for like $180. So
that's not bad at all.
No, it wasn't bad. Especially because, like I said, those things run like $400 or $500, and I just got a really good deal on it. But people buy like the DSLRs, and they're like $800 just for the body. It doesn't even have a lens with it. You got to spend another $500 on the lens, and I'm like, that's like months of salary for me, so that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I'm assuming that where you live in the country is like a much cheaper kind of cost of living. So it's one of those where it's like you have all this space and it's great, and like the cost of living is way less, but then the salaries are less, and then also all the other stuff is still as expensive as everything else. So if you're buying stuff online, it's like, well, this doesn't help me a whole lot, but
yeah, because like when you buy things, I mean, even if you buy them in stores, it's pretty much the same everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like how much money you make, and this is like Yeah, not great, but
Yeah.
you buy what you can and move on with life.
Yes. True that.
And don't spend $100 on lights.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. If like it was a real struggle, I might do it. I mean, I just point lamps at my face and hope that the daylight works occasionally. So, or I just tell people to have really low expectations and it works out okay. So, just can't justify.
Well, and I think like as far as AuthorTube goes, like I mean, it's not like it's one of those things where you want. I mean, skit videos are one thing where you want to have like a better quality, but for the most part, it's just like us talking to the camera. So I don't
Yeah.
feel like I think quality of what you're saying is better than quality of the video.
Yes.
But because I watch people where there's like no lighting or anything, and it's just like the things that they're saying is interesting to me.
Yes. Yeah.
So to me, that's more important than like, it's not like I'm watching a makeup tutorial and I want to see like the crease in
Feel
your
like I gotta get
eyeball.
up close. Yes. Yeah.
I can live without seeing the crease in your eyeball while we're talking about
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to take adverbs out of a book. If you know
Yeah.
how to get rid of adverbs, that's where I live. I need to like brush up on my adverbs and like how to not put them in there.
Yeah, I need like a refresher because I know Stephen King's thing is like no adverbs. And so I keep meaning to reread. I read On Writing, I don't know, several years ago, and I keep meaning to reread it because everyone keeps bringing it up. I'm like, well, I forgot most of it.
I have that like middle school guide to English, and I was hoping that that would help because like to me grammar is very basic English,
Mm.
but I feel like I'm sometimes not smart enough to grasp the concept. So I feel like if I get it like in a middle school level, then
Yeah.
it'll make sense.
Maybe I should look that up too because I have because I do some freelance writing, but it's what I'm actually struggling with recently isn't um that kind of writing. It's I'll do dialogue tags and then put said and then like add an extra bit of the sentence. And apparently the sentence is supposed to end and then it be a new sentence. Like there's specific rules for if you have a dialogue tag, how it can continue, which I didn't realize. So
I did a lot of, which is long time ago, when I was working on Words of Comadria, I did a lot of research for dialogue tags and things like that because at the time it was in the middle of like you should only say said or you should never say said. Like those were
yeah,
the two camps.
the debate, yes.
So I was like doing research on how to do those and like I was completely sentence structuring incredibly wrong. And
Yeah,
so like I went through the entire book and changed it, but now I don't remember the rules because it was like 5 years ago. Like,
yeah,
where did I learn all of this at? Because I must find it again and learn it again.
yes,
I don't
yes,
know.
yeah,
Commas instead of periods and
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Like
When does it matter?
I remember the basics that, the comma's supposed to go inside the quotes, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
After that, out the window. I don't know. It's been too long. Always say said, except don't ever say said.
Yeah, that's what I didn't realize. Someone pointed out how J.K. Rowling in the Harry Potter series really loves adverbs, and that's obviously wildly successful and no one really cares. So I thought that was an interesting perspective. I'm not an adverb fan if I can help it, but I still find them randomly. Like I never would have guessed.
I looked up words that I know that like I say out loud a lot. Like I
Mhm.
say honestly a lot.
Yes.
Honestly, because like I want you to believe what I'm saying. I don't want you to think I'm lying, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like so I looked up like honestly and it'll be in the book like 900 times and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Oh. Oh. I have that. I mean, there's several things that I think we just have like writing ticks, but I don't have an answer for this one. This is I really need to look up, probably to do with the same kind of sentence structure thing. But if I'm trying to direct where someone's walking in a scene, I have people walking back and forth a lot, it seems like. And so the phrase like back comes up all the time, and not like anatomy back, just like they walked back to this place. And I'm like, I should find a better way to say that, but I never do. It's just every time.
They walked hither, and then they walked thither, and then they
Yes,
walked
exactly.
yonder. I know that there are things that like I put in there all the time. Have you ever used the Hemingway app?
No. I say that. Now I gotta look it up.
It's like a website, and I think it's just like hemingwayapp.com. I don't even really remember. It's that thing where you look it up on Google and it tells you how to go to it. But
That's exactly. Oh, you got it though. Hemingway app.
and like you can copy paste in your text, and it will highlight like your adverbs and like sentence structure, things that aren't clear. And I mean, obviously, it's not like the end all be all of everything, but
Right.
it's a tool to help. It's kind of like what's that other thing that's on my computer that I don't know what it's called? Grammarly. I have Grammarly as well.
Yeah, I keep
And
saying
that points stuff out to me a lot. Like, hey, retard, you just used this word that you were not supposed to use. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's so. I mean, this is brilliant just because it would be better so that I could know when I'm breaking the rules, because you do want to break them to make it sound more like a cohesive kind of narrative. And sometimes if you're going for a certain kind of phrasing, but this still, knowing when you're breaking the rules is better than I'm just going to enter the last scene I did.
Yeah, and it's like it's a good guideline. Like it's not the answer to everything, and you shouldn't follow all of the rules because
right.
The rules of writing are there to be broken. Like that's what they're for. But it definitely gives you an idea of what's there and what you can work on and because it gives you like a level of comprehension or like grades your writing, which I don't know how a computer's supposed to tell me how good my writing is, but because writing to me, books to me are emotional. They're not like mathematical.
Yeah.
So I don't know how a computer can like process it and tell me how good it is, but
yeah. No, I'm with you too, especially because I look more in books for stories, which there's no way a computer could like quantify if it's a good story or not. So
yeah. I'm there for the escapism and for the story, not for the I hear people talk about prose a lot, like how great someone's prose is, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I mean, I want it to be good in my writing, but like in reading, I don't really care. Like, if the story's great and it's written not as well, I'd rather read that than something that is like written really well, but you forget the story 5 minutes later.
Yes, same. And also sometimes I don't know if I'm just like not that smart or what it is, but like sometimes there will be such like flowery or like extra kind of language that I just sit there and it takes me like a couple read-throughs to parse through what I'm trying, like what's happening versus what's just language for the sake of language, it feels like to me. And so I don't like those as much. I mean, I appreciate them. I'm like, this is pretty, but
I felt that way with what is that book? Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. Yeah, like I felt it was very flowery, and I honestly remember very little of the book. Like I bought the second book to read it, but I'm like, I don't remember what happened in the first book.
Did you read The Wrath and the Dawn by her?
I haven't. I own it, but I haven't read it yet. But I've heard it's the same.
It's a similar thing where I read it and I was like, I like this story. Like my initial impressions, I was like, this is really good. But then after I waited a couple days, I was like, was it that good? Or was it just that the writing was really pretty and that was it? Because I couldn't remember
what happened.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh no.
I remember they made eggs.
So, that's good.
I don't like eggs. So I remember that they made eggs. The best eggs that she's ever eaten.
Oh. Wow.
I remember that. But that was pretty much about it.
Yeah.
I read like the short stories that take place in between Flame in the Mist and Smoke in the Sun, whatever the next book is. And I was like, I have no idea who any of these characters are.
Yeah.
Help me out. I don't know. So yeah, I think story is more important than flowery language.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm there for. Like I'm there for the story. Some people are there for the flowery language.
That's true. Yeah, there's definitely people who need the language to even get into the story.
And those people should not read YA. Probably.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why people complain about YA being like, I mean, I obviously don't agree since I write YA, but people who say it's like dumbed down kind of thing. And I've heard the argument that it's just like you need to capture attention quicker and that they're like more invested in the story than they are the language. I was like, I don't think that's a dumbed down thing. It's just a preference difference.
I'm here for the story. Give me the story. I don't really
Yeah.
care how you give it to me. Just tell me.
Give it to me.
Well, and I feel that way about like mid-grade as well because I mean, I don't read a lot of mid-grade, but I do read like Rick Riordan.
Yes.
And his
Yeah.
characters are so like diverse and well written and the stories are so amazing and it's like but it's made for 12-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Adult books are boring.
That's what I have to pick like specific genre because I've been reading more like murder mysteries recently. And I've found out that I'm actually pretty picky with them because sometimes it's not that they're flowery in language, it's just that they describe stuff so much sometimes. And I'm like, I'm not here for if you don't have dialogue within like a certain number of pages, I'm out. Apparently.
I read which is not it's oh my gosh, what is the name of that darn book? Robin Hobb. I can't think of the name of the book right now. Hold on. Book, what's your name? Tell me from the beyond. I don't even know where it's at. Oh, you're killing me. Assassin's Apprentice, that's what it's called. I never found it, but I found it in my brain. And it's like a high fantasy.
Uh-huh.
And I swear to you, there was a part where they spent at least 4 pages describing the texture of paper, like a piece of paper. Like the color,
yeah,
the feel, the smell of a piece of paper.
That's why I struggle so much with high fantasy because I'm like, this is just I have a short attention span apparently. Like I'm sure it's great. So many people think it's great, but I cannot for that reason.
You have to get like YA high fantasy, not adult high fantasy.
That's what I read YA high fantasy. It has to be that caveat. Adult I can't do.
And also typically, I'm going to say this and sound completely sexist, but typically not written by men because it's more flowery. The men write, from my experience of what I have read, the men write more flowery language with high fantasy than what women do.
Yes, which is fascinating since the complaint is usually, I say that, the couple of men that I've read that wrote romance novels, I'm trying to think of what name I know, but that it was the same problem, so I don't know what it is.
I think it's like, I don't know, like, I understand the concept of why they spent 4 pages describing a piece of paper because the point was that it was uncommon. It wasn't something that you had in that time period or in that area. Like they were trying to say something about the world itself, but there has to be a better way than spending 4 pages talking about a piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm with you. Well, that's what I'm like. If you pick the right words, it should only take 2 sentences, you know, like you can explain that and I, the reader, can understand. I don't need 4 pages to tell me
that the paper was textured and yellowy and the way that it soaked up paint and made your brush strokes very clear. Yes. It's important to know that.
Plus 3 more pages. Yeah.
And the worst part was that, like, if I was reading it physically, I could have just, like, I would have just skipped those 4 pages, but I was doing the audiobook.
No.
And so, like, I'm driving down the road and I'm like, really? Really? Like, basically the entire 10-minute drive to work was me listening to them talk about paper.
No, see, that's why I think that's my struggle that I've had recently with the fiction. I was doing fantasy on audiobook and because I can't skip. and I apparently skipped more than I thought.
I have been doing the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer.
Oh, yes.
I just finished Scarlet. I wanted to start Crest, but it's not available yet through the lending library that I use,
Yeah.
which is depressing.
Yes.
But I've been listening to those audio, and I haven't wanted to skip anything, so that's okay.
Oh, you know what? I might give those a try again because I love them in paperback or, print book.
Print.
So that would be fun to see if I like them in audio too. It would be a good test since that's one of my favorite young adult series. All time seems like a lot, but it's up there. So.
I'm so like mad at myself for not reading them sooner, because the first time that I seen Cinder when it first came out, I was like, I don't like Cinderella and I don't like android sci-fi whatever, so like it's not my thing, and I'm like, I'm never gonna read this book, and I just walked away from it. I'm like, no, I'm not. And for like the next 5 years, I'm like, why do people keep trying to shove this book in my face? I don't want to read it. And finally I was like on Book Outlet, and the whole box set was on sale for like $15 or something stupid. I was like, fine, I'll buy it.
Yes. That's what I've been trying to convince my friend for like years for that same reason. She's not a sci-fi person, and I'm not a huge sci-fi person either. But like I'll do some, and I'm like, you would love this book, and she's just not having it.
It's about the interpersonal relationships more than about the sci-fi aspects of it. Like, I mean, obviously they're there because it's cyborgs and flying ships and stuff, but it's more about interpersonal relationships. And I love interpersonal relationships in books. So.
Yes.
So I'm very angry at myself for waiting. I swear, if it had been a different Disney princess type character, like in the first book, I probably would have read it sooner. Because
really, I could see that. Yeah.
Cinderella is just like not my jam.
Yeah, I would say Cinderella is like my least favorite of the original Disney princess movie. Well, Snow White maybe. I don't know.
Snow White. Like, I respect Cinderella for the bullcrap that she went through, but like, you met a dude, you danced with him for half of a song, and you fell in love with him and ran away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never even spoke to each other.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Like, that's not.
Well, that's what I know. People complain about Sleeping Beauty because literally Aurora is like asleep in a spell for the entirety of the movie. But I like that Maleficent is one of like the best.
Oh yeah, I love Maleficent.
And so I'm like, I'm in it. That's why it's the.
I say like my favorite Disney princess is not a Disney princess. It's Megara from Hercules.
Meg, yes.
I love Meg because she's like honest and they legit. There's like a time frame. Like, they don't just like instantly meet and fall in love.
Yes, it makes so much sense.
I really like Mulan. Mulan's cool.
Yes.
I can have some Mulan in the world. I really like Tangled too. So
Tangled is my I don't know. I really liked Moana also, but I think Tangled is probably my favorite of like the newer ones.
I have seen most of Moana, but I've never seen it like all in sequence before. Just because I typically watch it like either with my girlfriends or like with my nieces, and we do other stuff. So I haven't actually sat down and watched it. Yeah. But I do really like it. And Tangled was the one that I hadn't watched anything Disney for a really long time because I just like was so peeved at like the whole like, you meet a guy and you fall in love 20 seconds later and you're together forever. And someone was like, one of my nieces wanted to watch Tangled, and I watched it with them, and that was like the resurgence for Disney princesses for me. Like, that was the one that got me like back into it and back into the stories.
Yes.
I guess we probably should like write some more or something instead of talking about Disney princesses. It's been 2 hours and we've wrote for 25 minutes.
I mean, that's a better ratio than I get sometimes.
A better ratio than I would have if we weren't here. I don't know why I'm like typing on that when there's a keyboard right in front of me. I'm like on the other computer typing on it. I don't need to. How much do you want to do this time?
I mean, do we want to go for 20 this time?
We can do 20 this time.
I'm gonna take my dog out one more time. Come on, Betty.
Am I the only one whose smiley faces look like weird little duck creatures?
Oh no, mine do too.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah, I think that might just be Google YouTube's way of doing it.
Your smiley faces are all weird flat ducks on the bottom. Okay, now I need to find a 20-minute timer. Oh, good Lord. Where was I at? Oh, here we are. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. I'm
Ooh,
ready.
bright light. You light it up.
Oh, did I? I think
Yeah.
my computer adjusted. They're like, it's dark now. It's time to get bright.
Okay, we are going to start right now. And that's time.
I did way worse that time. Also, it got real dark.
It got really dark over there. How did you do that time? Way worse, lady. I did 2 pages that time.
That's good.
Once again in the middle of a sentence, but you know.
Yeah. I apparently got 431 words.
It's better than 31 words.
That's exactly right.
Could have been way worse.
Looking on the positive side.
How did everyone else do 2 minutes from now? It's like you just like sit here and stare at it and wait for someone to answer.
That's just so weird to me.
Oh, I forgot to turn off my common room noises. I'm like, why are there people walking around in my headset? Because it's still on. Oh, Lordy Pete's sake.
I'm really going to have to use that more. I think that's so fun the couple of times I have.
It definitely is like, I don't want to say motivating for me, but it like blocks everything out. I'm a lot more productive with it than I am with regular playlists or silence. So.
Really? I'm curious. So I decided this month, I don't know why I decided, but I'm going to like track all the words I get in the various projects. So just for September, I don't know that I'll do it continued on, but I think it'd be fun to have like a music category or with music to see if that helps my productivity or not. So I'll add another column.
Hope got a little over 300 words, which actually is awesome, Hope, because it could have been 3 words. So always look at the bright side. I'm trying to find these stickers that I got.
Oh, yay.
For my planner, because I am like obsessed with planners now. I have a problem. Do they have an AA for that? I need a 12-step program for that next. After the buying books program and the
oh my gosh.
I need lots of 12-step programs. I have 2 books of stickers, so I'm like trying to find them.
Which ones exactly? Stickers are so fun.
I don't know if you'll be able to see these or not, but I'm gonna stick them up here and we'll see. But they are, woo, you can kind of see them. They're like, they have the word count in them, just like little ribbons.
Where did you get those?
I got them on Etsy. The designer is Paper Cut Design Studio.
Paper Cut Design Studio. Okay. I
will link it down below in the box down below. I also got these that are like little typewriters.
Those are so cute.
And they actually have like just a smidge of paper at the top of it, so like you can write it in as well. So like I use those for the live sprints, so that, like I can write in my words for the live sprints, and then the others I put at the end of each week. There's like I also got, because I keep track of like the books that I'm reading in my planner as well, and it was a completely different company, but I got these book stickers as well.
Oh, those are
so
cute.
that like, I can write the name of the book on it when I read it, when I finish it. So I have been obsessed with stickers lately.
I'm gonna have so much trouble. That's what I just did my planner for the month of September, and so I went sticker crazy, and I was putting them everywhere. But I got like the basic stickers, like the first, like I don't know, a deck or something. I don't know what I would want to call those, but it's supposed to have like an all-inclusive, but it doesn't have any writing specific ones. So,
what planner do you use?
Let me hold on. I'll go find it.
Let me know.
I got this one. What kind is it?
Is that like an Erin Condren?
That doesn't sound familiar, but I don't know. So the stickers I got were from the Happy Planner, which my old planner was the Happy Planner.
That's what I have.
Yeah. I don't know which one this is. It doesn't say. But it has
doesn't want you to know.
Like setting goal stuff at the beginning and whatever. So I was like, that's what I need.
I used to have the Carpe Diem system, which is like a 6-ring binder, which is actually what my it's this guy that my stickers are actually in now. I used all of my old pages and made a sticker book out of it.
Oh, that's cute.
But it wasn't big enough, so I have like 3 other sticker books because I went sticker book. I've probably spent like an entire month's salary this year on stickers and planner stuff. It's fine. Who needs that $100 light when you can spend $500,000 on stickers? So, I get
more satisfaction out of them.
I do. I get more satisfaction out of the stickers, and like I like planning out my weeks ahead of time, and like my videos and my writing time, and everything is nice and planned out.
Yeah.
I'm reading the comments because there's comments, so I'm reading them. I used to do bullet journaling, and I quit doing it because it took so long to like get everything out the way that I wanted to get it down, and it just was a lot of work.
That's what this I have right next to me is my bullet journal, but it's the same thing where I ended up now I just use it more as like a random idea journal, like if I don't want to put it in the planner kind of thing, because it was just so much work to set up a system that I found that if I found a planner that I liked better that already had all the stuff in it the way I wanted to do it, I was like, I just might as well. I still kind of use the system with the actual bullets, and they'll like move it to this and like crossing stuff off if I don't do them. But
yeah, I used the bullet journal, which now I still have it, but I use it for like lists, like future videos or future projects, things like that. But and like so I went to the Carpe Diem system, and I used that for a year, and I liked it, but I really liked all of the stuff that they had for the Happy Planners. Like there's so much more stuff. And, you know, we're consumers, so we like things. We want all the things. And I do really like it because it is customizable for you and what works best for you and your system. And they have so many different like extension packs for like health and wellness and teachers and all of that fun stuff. So it's really cool. And you can get into like the world's biggest downward spiral looking at planner layouts on YouTube. Like, don't do it.
Gosh.
It's worse than Pinterest. Like, I swear, I like started one night, like just like looking at layout videos, and it was like 4 hours later, and I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yep. I follow a couple of them on like Instagram too. Every time I see them, I'm just like, this is beautiful. And then rabbit hole again.
Yeah, you get into those downward spirals of, oh my gosh, how did I get here? And I got my friend Brittany into the Happy Planner too. Like she bought they had a like a cheaper version at Walmart, which I actually have one of those too because I'm cool like that. I bought this purpley one.
Oh, that's cute.
I think these were called like the All Glam Planner, and I think that the Happy Planner people are suing these people because they're like the exact same planner.
Wow.
Like down to like they have the hearts and the rings and everything.
Yeah.
So I assumed that they were made by the Happy Planner people, but from what I hear, they weren't. But they're like a cheaper version.
Yeah.
I use that for like my health and my mental health and wellness.
Yeah.
Because I don't keep them together.
I was going to ask if you split them up or have them all in one.
I used to keep them together, but I wasn't using the mental health one as much. And I'm I like to keep track of like what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. So I do that more like at home. Whereas the other one I take everywhere with me. And like, I don't like if I lose it, I don't want the whole free world like knowing my mental health problems. So I talk about it on the internet. So there goes that. But
no, that's fair.
I talk about it on the internet for everyone to see, but you know.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I don't talk about like the intimate details of it.
Really, yeah.
The nitty gritty parts of it.
Like, what your thoughts actually be.
I actually have like started using it to my advantage, which is a weird thing to say, but one of the main character in the story that I'm working on has depression and has like suicidal tendencies, which I have not had suicidal tendencies, but I have had like suicidal thoughts, which is why I'm on medication now. But so like I'm able to like use that as a way to get into a character's head better, which is kind of cool. It's a good way to use it. Good way to use your crazy.
Yeah. No, that is, because then, I mean, I think it's, I know whenever I'm having trouble with my mental health, I don't write, just because it's like, for me, whenever I'm having a downward thing, it's like everything, I just stop doing stuff. For even the stuff that makes me happy, like that, I feel like that's what it is for a lot of people. So then I won't keep track of how I'm feeling or how I'm doing whatever. So if you're keeping track of it, then you can more aptly describe it later. Whereas just like, I'm only productive when I'm happy.
Well, and I'm trying to find like, I guess like triggers for it. Like what, like, is there anything in common with like what I'm doing the day before that caused me to have a bad day?
Yeah.
Like how can I avoid it? Because sometimes, I mean, even when you're medicated, like you still have bad days where you're like, you don't give a crap about the world and you just kind of want to be in your own like zone.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to figure out what, if anything, causes that, or if it's just the complete chemical imbalance in your brain. But you know. But according to Jen Sincero's book, How to Be a Badass, it's all in your head and you can just talk yourself into having a better day. So, you know, mental illness isn't a real thing. It's just we like to lay around and have people bring us food and not have to wash dishes.
Oh, I have not read that book. Now oh man.
It was like chapter 17. I read it up to chapter 17 because a lot of people are like, they love it because she's talking about like how if you vibrate on a different frequency, like you need to vibrate on a higher frequency to make better things happen to you in your life. And basically, if anything bad happens to you, it's because you're not vibrating at the correct frequency. So apparently anybody that is like raped or murdered, it's their fault because they should have vibrated at a higher frequency.
Shut up.
And people love it. I'm like, I don't know if like I'm just looking too far into it or if I'm just like taking the wrong thing out of it.
Yeah.
But just like I got to that chapter and like she literally was like, well, you know, if you're depressed and really it's just an excuse for you to like not have to wash the dishes or get out of bed. And sometimes people will bring you food in bed. And I'm like, that's not how this works. Not how any of this works. So
that's crazy because I see it on display in like Barnes and Nobles and half price books all the time.
It's a huge book. Like people love it. And I was just like I said, I don't know if I took it the wrong way or like with everything that like I always say, like, you know, read it for yourself and have your own opinion. I don't ever want to give anybody their opinion of anything. That's not my job.
Yeah.
But it's just like my opinion of it. I was like, what? Why do people love this so much? Like, obviously no one with mental health issues has ever read this, or they just took it a completely different way than I did. So, yeah. I
I
just
think
like,
it's going to be the first time a problematic book or whatever got super popular and everyone was just like,
so like I DNF'd it at chapters, like I literally like the middle of
yeah,
chapter
yeah,
17. I was like,
yeah.
nope. Have you
Done.
ever read or watched The Secret?
The Secret. That doesn't sound familiar.
It was kind of somewhat sort of like a religious thing, and it was like a book that was popular in like the early 2000s, and they did like a special on it, I think, on Netflix, and I watched it like one time. And it is kind of very similar. It's like if you think positive thoughts, if you put positive things out into the world, then positive things will come back to you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very similar, like basically she just rewrote, in my opinion, rewrote The Secret into like her own story. And she was very religious. Like she's very much like you have to believe in God and you have to like, she pushed against church the whole time, and then she wasn't happy until she realized that she really did need to go to church. It was just a very weird book. Like don't I don't I don't know why it's so popular.
That's fascinating to me. Well,
I don't get it. I don't. I mean, but this is coming from the girl who doesn't understand literature either. So I, I don't understand why literature is popular either, because it's boring. But that's just
I'm right there with you. You see, you're a great screener for books for me. If you get to them first, I can just have your opinion and be like, I'll probably feel similar.
literature is so like I really like 1984. Like I love 1984, and I love Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah.
But like Animal Farm and like the stuff that we read in middle school, like Call of the Wild and Old Man in the Sea and Catcher in the Rye.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm trying
Why?
to read more classics, but the classics I'm choosing are definitely more plot focused Classics is like an interpretable word, I feel like. So
I can read like 1800s classics, but like
yeah.
modern classics, like stuff from the 80s and 90s, like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to dry up and die because it's so boring.
Just shrivel.
Oh, I'm reading comments again. Hope, I'm with you, Hope. Like it's a totally weird book. It hurts my brain. And like I said, I always advise anybody like with Insatiable, like we were talking about earlier, like you
Mm-hmm.
have to read it for yourself, or you have to watch it for yourself and get your own opinions, because we all take different things from it. I'll never tell anybody like don't watch this or don't read this because it's horrible, because there are a lot of things that I like that other people don't like, or vice versa. But sometimes it's just like when you are the one person that sees it wrong and you're like, why does no one see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's here. Like look for it. Or just read the book and say it's the best book. Like I know like people that I'm friends with on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram, and like they're all reading it and they're all about that book. Like they love it. And I'm like, you didn't like when they finished it, I've asked like, did you read chapter 17? Like, did you take this from it? And they're like, no, I guess I didn't really look at it that way. And I'm like, she just like flat out said it like right there in black and white. But okay. They were so interested in like everything else going
Yeah.
on in the book, and like the positive messages that it does have, that you just kind of overlook it. And I'm sure that we all do that with things. And I guess like I just caught it because it's like, because I have depression. So I caught that.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
That one book that I have a problem with. It's like literally the second book in my entire life that I have DNF'd. The other one was Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, just because I couldn't handle the footnotes.
Okay. I was like, that one I hear such like rave reviews of. I DNF all the time. I went to a book club meeting recently, and we were talking about people's like propensity to DNF, and one girl was like, never. She's like, because what if it gets really good in the last like 30 pages? And I'm like, I'll Wikipedia it.
I'll Wikipedia it and find out what happens. Like, don't get me wrong. I've started books before and been like on page 5 and been like, I'll come back to this later. And I usually do. Like,
Yeah.
like sometimes it's just you're not in the mood for that type of book at the time. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I'm just not in the mood for contemporary or whatever it is. Like I'll start reading it. I'm like, no, this isn't what I want right now. And I'll go back to it. And I am hopefully going to go back to Nevernight again, but I want to listen to it like on audiobook and hope that it doesn't have the footnotes in it.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting on it from the library to see what it is. But just the footnotes are so distracting because like they're there, so I feel like I have to read them or I want to read them.
Yeah.
But there's so many, and like there'll be something at the top of the page, and the footnote will be at the bottom, and it'll be like half the page and then half of the next page, and then you have to remember to flip back to go back to the top. And I'm like,
Oh,
why?
see, that's an actual pet peeve of mine with footnotes because footnotes don't bother me except when they bleed over into the next page and I have to do the flipping thing. So now I'm like,
If you have ever opened that book, which I think I talked about it with Laura, maybe, like if you ever open the book, there are multiple pages where it's more than half of the page is footnotes.
yeah,
Like so many footnotes. And like I get the concept because I'm pretty sure the book is like told from the point of view of her cat. It's like a demon cat, so it's different. But
yeah,
like I think the point of view is from the cat. So like the footnotes is more like um the cat's interpretation of the world, and like it's like it makes sense, but
yeah,
it's I get lost and like you get out of the middle of the sentence and then
yeah.
you kind of like forget where you were at, and it's a really hard read, and I'm just not into working that hard to read a story.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that one I am gonna have to. I'll have to check that out at some point. But it's the problem that I'm sure we all have. The TBR is just so long that I'm like, I say I'm gonna read it, but I don't know when that's ever gonna be.
One of us has bought 200 books this year. I don't know which one of us that was though.
Dang, girl.
I swear I filmed my haul for this month, which I don't know if I can turn the camera that way or not, but it's over there. Like this mess on the
Yeah,
small.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
see it. Oh my
that's
gosh.
that's it's like 41 books. And that's just the stuff that came in. Like that's not
Yeah.
everything I ordered, it's just what's here. I've already started
That's
getting stuff
amazing.
that's from after. I have a problem. I told you I need a 12-step
Yeah.
program.
I mean, that's what the only thing that's been stopping me is that I literally, like, I had to put bookshelves in the closet, and there's literally no more space in my room for extra bookcases. So I've already started piling on top of them. It's just not going to work. So hard line.
I have more, like if you can see behind me, like I have more room for books.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
I have a lot of room, and like the bottom, like directly behind me is actually shoes.
Yeah.
Because from the dogs, like again, I live on a farm. I have 4 dogs, 2 cats, 5 horses. Like my house is dusty as crap, and
Yeah.
like the bottom shelves are the worst because the dogs lay on the floor and all their dust comes up. So I try not to put books on the bottom shelves.
Yeah.
Can if I have to, if it gets to that point, but I try not to. Like they're
Yeah.
all full right now with other things, but I also have the 2 shelves up top, and there's I don't know, probably a 6 or 7 foot span up there that just has knickknacks on it right now that doesn't have any books on it. So
So you don't have a hard stop. So when will you? You won't stop.
I won't stop. I would say I'll get rid of the couch and like
Uh-huh.
put more books up, get more bookshelves. But the couch had to come in through the window because it wouldn't fit through the door. So I highly doubt that it ever leaves this room because who wants to take it back out the window? Don't mind me. I'm just going to take my couch out my window. We're cool like that.
All of the books. I'm gonna go have to watch your haul later.
I don't think I've posted yet. I maybe. I
Okay,
don't
okay.
remember.
I am catching up on all my AuthorTube videos, so
I bulk
I'll
filmed
start
the other day, and it was like I think I filmed like 5 videos, and I didn't realize it until after I did it. But like I have this red hair, and I was wearing a yellow shirt, and I had blue lipstick on. I'm like, this is a look.
You're like, they will all know. There's no faking. Like,
Everyone is going to know that I bulk filmed because I have red hair, a yellow shirt, and blue lipstick on. Who thought that was a good idea? It's
I'm
too late
so
now because I already spent 2 hours filming.
yeah, I'm so impressed you're able to bulk film that much because I get like after 2, I just get exhausted for some reason. I haven't figured out what it is.
I usually plan like meticulously.
Yeah.
I don't script, but like I bullet point like what I want to talk about for the most
Yeah.
part. And so like and I get all the books ready and like I set them on the little stand that's there.
So
Like
you're like,
I stack them all up in the order that I'm going to talk about them in, and like
yeah.
everything is ready. And I do that like a couple of days in advance.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
my mom's usually not here on the weekends, so I'm usually home by myself on the weekends. And so like just like Saturday or Sunday or sometimes Friday night, I'll just like film 5 or 6 videos and
Yeah. Dang.
and wear blue lipstick and have red hair and a yellow shirt. Like we're talking blue lipstick, girl. And
Well, I'm excited to see it.
I filmed last week. I filmed like my desk reorganization.
I still need to watch that. I just added it to my watch.
And then someone was asking me about, because I have quotes on my desk, and someone was asking me about those. And they're like, can you do a video on those? And I'm like, yeah, as soon as I remember to look up where they all came from. Because like some of them I know where they came from.
Yeah.
Like I have Every Child in Our World Will Know His Name, which is from Harry Potter. Like I know that one off the top of my head. There's one that's like a huge one right here in front of me that I know is from one of the Mortal Instruments books.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them, like they could go for like I really liked them and like I wrote them down as I was getting ready to do the desk. But I never wrote down like where they came from.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have to look them all up.
Google them all. Hopefully
I'm going to go to
people really like them too, so they're easy to find.
I know there's like some Hunger Games and some of the Fallen series by Lauren Kate.
Yes.
And I'm like looking at them like I'm sure there's
Like,
some Vampire Academy. Because they're everywhere. Like I didn't plan on like always having them all visible. I just wanted to put them down. So like a lot of them are like underneath other things, and so you're like you can see 3 or 4 words, and then you know, it's just extra inspiration.
I was gonna say that's a cute way to do it though. I think I keep wanting to put like writing quotes near my desk. I think it would be even cooler to kind of do what you're doing, where it's like if a quote speaks to me from a book, I think that's kind of the best inspiration you can have.
Yeah, it's ones that like a lot of them are love related because I'm like a hopeless romantic who doesn't date. It's cool. And so a lot of them are like true love related or in that vein, and it's just like it makes me happy. I need all the happy I can get. So yeah, and I like my desk is huge. Like I built it out of a solid core door that I painted and then wrote the quotes on, and then built like 2 of those like 4 cube stands from Walmart, and those are the legs. And then my old little tiny desk that was like yay big is like a side desk. So I have like a giant L-shaped desk. It's wonderful. I have so much stuff, and like the cats live on here. It's like their cat jungle gym.
Yeah,
which sometimes I hate, but it's fine. I have a lot of stuff.
I was gonna say desk goals.
Yes. And that's like it takes up like half of the office. No kidding. Like it's a big part of the office.
I was gonna say that's what the office is for, though.
Yes. Well, my office is actually bigger than my bedroom because I took over my sister's bedroom and she had the smaller bedroom because she moved back home. Like I never left. She moved back. And when she moved out, I took over her bedroom as my bedroom and then started using my bedroom as the office, which I kept my closet because I have the big closet. So like my clothes are in my office, but whatever. But it's fine. I still have a giant office and that's cool. Some people don't have that. So I can't complain.
Yeah.
Some people have to share their office with their bedroom, and I don't have to do that anymore.
I mean, that's what mine is. This is not the office. I'm just kind of chilling in here, but my desk is in my bedroom, and I just pivot. I could literally, if I was long enough, I could sit on my bed and then type, but I'm not quite long enough, so I do have a chair.
You just need a wireless keyboard.
See, that's what I really could do.
I love it. I do sit on the other side of the room sometimes. They have an office in their living room. A lot of people, a lot of people have a living room and an office combo, and that's kind of what mine is because it's also my living room. Like I have my couch and my TV, and that
Yeah.
in here as well. Because my mom and I have completely different ideas of what a television show is. My mom is like the least emotional person on the planet, and she watches like Hallmark Christmas movies year round. I don't.
Oh my gosh, I want to hang
I
out with your mom. I do too.
she's not like a super lovey, emotional type person. Like that's just not my mom. And like I'll walk
Yeah.
in for 5 minutes and like whatever is on, whether it's like some poor kid they're having Christmas early because some kid's dying from cancer, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out, and she's just sitting there like a rock on the
Oh.
on the couch watching and I'm like, how do you do this?
No, I
Tell
do
me
the
your
super
ways.
happy ones. I should only be crying because I'm so happy.
I
I'm
get
not
those
crying
too.
because I'm sad.
I get those too. Like you're crying because like happy stuff happens, and I do
Yeah.
that like a lot with my TV, like the shows I watch as well. But like I can walk in at the beginning of a Hallmark show, watch the first 5 minutes, and say, "All right, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. I'll be back at the
Oh,
end."
for
And I'm like, "All
sure.
right, how right was I?"
See,
And
I
it's like
kind of
the
think
same
that's part of
formula.
the appeal. Like, I would not want that for any other kind of like media I'm consuming, but Hallmark just gets away with it. I don't care that I know ahead of time exactly how it's gonna happen.
Like Hallmark movies and Lifetime movies, and mom is just obsessed with them, and she watches them all year round, like Christmas
Yeah,
movies plus just regular, like the regular ones. They have those too. And
yeah.
so I'm like, I couldn't watch them all year round. But whatever works for you, I guess.
Those are also great. I have them on in the background while I write. If I just want noise, that and HGTV are my two things.
I do a lot of Food Network because HGTV, like I'll try to watch it instead.
Yeah,
And same with movie. Like I can't do shows because I have a television problem. Like I'm obsessed with TV.
yeah,
So I can't have it on because I won't write. Like I'll just be watching TV. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's fine. I have been really good this summer. Like there's just like nothing on that I want to watch because there's nothing good on this summer. But I pretty much have watched American Ninja Warrior, and that's about it. Like all summer. So
Oh
on
my God.
Mondays I watch 2 hours of TV, and that's it.
Oh, that's great.
Not getting anything else done, but it's fine.
That's good. Well, I apparently sometimes I think I watch quality television half the time, and then the other half is like definitely not quality. So I'm watching Bachelor in Paradise, and it's just awful, but it's great, you know? So,
I don't do a lot of the reality shows. Like I do watch America's Got Talent somewhat frequently.
mhm,
Um, that's kind of about it. Like I don't watch a lot of reality TV. I watch like the like superhero shows
mhm,
and um I don't know. I used to watch This Is Us. I loved that show. I stopped watching it because I literally cried every week and like
that's why I never started. I thought I was gonna cry every time, and I'm sure I would have.
well, like the first episode is like one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen in my life. And the first season's really good, but just like with my mental emotional health, like I can't watch a show that makes me cry every week.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
not something that I can emotionally handle. So I was like, I'm out. I'm gone. Can't do it.
Yeah,
But
no, I don't think I could either. That's what, and well, even movies, if I can tell from the trailer that I'm gonna cry, even like a bunch, because I'll cry a little bit. I don't mind that. But like if it's literally just gonna be like wrench my heart out and throw it on the ground, I'm not gonna watch it.
that is why I have never started watching Doctor Who. Like
Oh.
everybody talks about how amazing it is and like how much like all of the crying and the emotions and the feels, and I'm like I can't do it. Like I cannot emotionally handle that in my life, so I'm just gonna
Yeah,
walk
yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah. Oh,
Like
I
I
do
want
want
to.
some Doctor Who.
And like I feel like because I've seen so much on the internet that I kind of have a good idea of like what would happen anyway, so nothing would like be a super surprise for me. So it
Yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't kill me as much.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
probably not a
that's
good
like
idea.
I always say I was watching. Did you ever watch Downton Abbey?
No.
Okay. Well, don't. It was
Don't.
it was really good, but then something happened, and truthfully, I've never felt so betrayed by writers of a TV show before. And like I know why they did it, but honestly, I was so mad. I have not started watching again, and that was like a year ago. And I'm just like, I don't think I could ever do it. I don't think I could come back from it. I was bawling.
I just sometimes like it's really weird. And I think that's the thing about writers is that we like stories. And so it doesn't matter if it's like written or movies or TV, it's just like we're there for the story.
Yes. Yep.
And sometimes that story betrays you
Yes.
and you want to curl up in a ball and die.
Yes. Yes. It's truthfully a betrayal.
And you can't handle it. It's just yeah. I don't know. We should probably do another sprint.
I was thinking about that. I might have to let you do that one alone. I gotta take the dog out, and it's dark now, so.
Oh, the poor puppy.
I know he needs to go on his. He's super old. He's getting up there in age, but he loves his walks. So
Needs to go for a walk, Mom.
I know. I think that's what he's been begging me for. But this is so much fun, and I'd love to do this on a regular basis. So
And we should write more next time because it's been 3 hours and we wrote for a half hour.
yeah, we'll do better about that for sure. Maybe more of a plan next time.
Well, for the most part, it was just like the two of us anyway. So
That's true. Yeah, it was
there's
just
been a few other people. Hi, other people.
bye, other people. I can get off, and I'm not leaving you, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Now it's just me and you guys. I will do one more sprint. Do another 20 minutes and find out how to reset this timer because Lord knows that I can't figure out how to do that. And say bye to Kate and tell her thank you for keeping me company because it's much more fun with company. Future reference. And I am going to start this next 20-minute sprint. All right. And now. Oh, quit growling. Just because your brother's outside growling doesn't mean you need to be doing it inside. And that is our timer. So that was another 20 minutes. How did everybody do that time? Those of you who are actually writing versus just hanging out. I don't know how much I wrote that time. Not much. Like a page and a half-ish. I was mostly, there was a word that I was trying to think of, and I couldn't think of what the word was for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Rather than just skip the word and continue on, I was trying to figure out what the word was that I was looking for. FYI, the word was shudder. Like, you know, when someone shudders. Yeah. That was the word I was looking for. It wouldn't come to me. I was thinking like shake or like vibrated. I couldn't think of shudder. I don't know why. That's the world we live in. My brain is fried. It's been 3 hours. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Not that, you know, we wrote a whole lot tonight or anything, but, you know, Kate and I got to catch up and hang out and talk about some movies and some books, and you guys got to listen, so that's always a bonus. 1, 2, 3. So, in total tonight, I wrote about 4.5 pages, which isn't bad. 3 hours, 4.5 pages. Again, that's my handwriting. That's upside down and backwards, but you know, it's my handwriting pages because I'm cool like that. Outlining is going good. That's good. Kate is the one that I stole this term from, and it's like a zero draft. And basically it's like an extensive outline. I think I've got like 40 pages, but it's really just like the world's most extensive outline. Because I didn't plan the story very well. I just kind of, I'm winging it a little bit. So, extensive outlining. That's how I roll. I'm being stared at by a cat, and then there's 3 dogs staring at me through the window. that would like to come in the house. So I'm probably going to end this soon so that I can take care of all of them. I also am going to be making brownies for the girls. They're coming over tomorrow, my girlfriends. We're going to hang out and play Mario Kart and eat some junk food because that's how we roll. We're cool like that. I don't know when, tomorrow, but at some point. I forgot to turn off the common room sounds again, so there's like people walking in my ear because that's fun. Like I said in the comments, I did this at the end of July. I wanted to do one last weekend, like the last weekend of August, but I just had too much going on, so that didn't happen. So we got one this week instead. I will probably be doing these about once a month. Just depending on like if I could find someone to do it with me, because it is a lot more fun having someone else here versus talking to you guys through the chat. Because like I said, I love to talk to you guys, but there's like a 2.5 minute lag. So anytime like I ask a question or anything, like I have to just kind of sit here and stare at it and wait for someone to answer, because otherwise like I've moved on to a new subject. So it is definitely more fun to like have someone here to talk to about, with things, about things with. Whew, English language has left me. But yeah. So I will probably do these once a month. If you follow me on any of the social media, I always post like a week in advance when I'm actually going to do it. All of that is in I keep pointing over there because my screen's over there. All of my info is in the description box. And if you guys like Kate, all of her info is in the description box as well. So that if you want to be Kate's friend, you can be her friend on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. Kate's awesome. She posts a lot of NaNoWriMo videos, sometimes daily NaNoWriMo videos, a lot of prep videos. She's really big on the NaNoWriMo. So if you like doing either camp Nano or regular Nano, Kate is awesome to follow because she has a lot of informative things. She also just did a mega solo road trip and did a road trip kind of around the Western United States, more of the Western United States. And so there's a bunch of videos on her channel about that as well. So if you like travel, there's a lot of that. So you can always follow Kate and be her friend because Kate's cool. That is all I have for tonight, unless you guys have any more questions. I don't know why you would, but who knows? I'll wait the 2 minutes and see if anybody has any questions while I figure out where the cat just went. I don't know where the cat went. I'm sleepy. It's only been 3 hours. It's totally fine. The lag in the video is so, like, I'm not watching it, but like I can see like the bottom part of it, and it's like, it's so weird how bad the lag is. So weird, which is cool because I mean, I guess I'm sure there's a purpose. I don't know what the purpose is, but I'm sure there is one. Okay, that is all I have for tonight. If you guys, like I said, check out Kate, check out me. Here I am. And we'll probably do these once a month or so. And I may start later next time. I think 7 o'clock was just like kind of where my brain went, because like when I start on weekdays, like 7's good, but weeknights should be later. Because those of you on the West Coast, it's like super early in the day, and I'm not inclusive, and I'm not thinking about those of you on the West Coast, which means I'm a jerk. I'm sorry. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. To find the stop button. There it is.